When you talk about blame on your part, I want to know what you're referring to.
There is nothing that wasn't covered in the depositions.
But I want to hear it now. We never filed against you. We never took part in any of that.
Maybe a better way than interrogating is to learn what we remember.
Fine. So, tell me what you remember. Tell me about your son.
What would you like to know?
Everything. I want to know everything.
Why?
Why do I want to know about your son? Because he killed mine.
Welcome back. That was a clip from Mass, our next guest's newest project. She's an Emmy Award winner for her work on The Handmaid's Tale, and her latest role is gaining her Oscar buzz.
In this drama, she explores tragedy as the mother of a school shooter, one of two sets of parents forced to face the fallout that the event has taken on their lives. Joining us now, Ann Dowd. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We're really delighted to talk about this movie. It's Mass, and it is such an important and emotionally charged film. You play Linda, the mother of the shooter that is central to this story. What was it like getting into this role? But more importantly, what drew you to it in the first place?
Well, the thing that it always begins with is the text, is the script, and it was so beautifully written. Clearly a very intentional, so that immediately. And so the thought, two of them actually, how do you ever turn something like this down? So the answer being, I want to do it. And the second, of course, is, can I do what needs to be done, which is to drop into that level of grief in a truthful way that would respect and honor the story, the characters, and the human beings that face this unimaginable tragedy. I was intrigued by her, very moved by her, and was very much looking forward to coming to know her.
I'm curious what you learned or felt about grief and forgiveness while working on this project.
That's a wonderful question, because really it was about that, as an actor learning, and a human being, how do we move forward toward some place of healing? I think for this particular character, everything that came before was shattered entirely. Who she was, how she operated in her family, in the world. I always sort of thought of her as a peacekeeper in the family, or the one trying to keep harmony, as mothers often do. Trying to convince my husband, don't speak so harshly to him, honey. He doesn't know how to handle that. She has thought through and lived every horrible way she could have failed this boy's life as a mother, and that will never leave her. So learning, too, that there is always a way to move forward if we can put down those walls, if we can just listen and put ourselves in the place of the person in front of us. Extraordinary things happen. And rage and blame and guilt fall away because something much stronger has just taken place. And then healing, and maybe then forgiveness.
But it's the reminder of the magic of filmmaking, because it is bringing up different lenses to see topics that can be very triggering and very divisive. But that's part of the magic of Mass, and the fact that it takes place mostly in this one room. And you might think that there's going to be conversations that are heavy on, gun control or on mental illness, and that stuff comes up. But really what it is about is these connections between these people who are going through and processing grief in very different but very similar ways. So there was this question of why that was trying to be answered. Why was that so important for you?
Fran is kind of a remarkable person, beautiful writer and director. And for a first time out, his instincts on how he wanted this story to be told were very clear to him. He spoke of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa. He studied that in college, and it kind of haunted him, the notion of, can I be one of those people that sits down at that table and forgives? And he was afraid, he said, that he couldn't be that person. So that's a very significant journey one is on, when it's always somewhere in you. Could I be? And then a young parent, his daughter was 1.5 years. He was driving and he listened on the radio to a mother who lost a child in the Parkland shooting. He had to pull over because he was just, what is going on? What's happened to us? And then he just dove into every single possible thing he could read on the matter. And what he wrote and what he hoped for was that this is a story about the potential for human connection and healing and forgiveness. So that was Fran's intention. And he got a lot of pushback about, well, you need flashbacks, you need cutaway to, and he said, no, I want it in real time in this room, these 4 people. And he stuck by it, and good for him.
It's not surprising the movie is getting the type of Oscar buzz that it is. It's powerful, it's incredible, and your performances are amazing. But I want to just, before we let you go, switch gears and ask about another well-loved project that you work on. That is The Handmaid's Tale. Of course, it is shot right here in Toronto.
Right,
Can you give
there.
us any new teasers about the season that's coming?
Well, they don't tell actors anything, which is not a bad idea. Not a bad decision, I have literally no idea of where things will go. I do have complete faith that it'll go in a very good direction. I think last season, it was just, as I would read each script, I would literally sit down because I was in, you couldn't go out of your apartment. Canadians don't kid around about such things. 2 weeks, you don't go out that door. So lots of time to